Thanks for joining me today. I appreciate it.
Under pressure.
Under pressure? Come on. It's
when I'm supposed to go on vacation.
Oh, okay, guys. She came out, by the way. She's going on vacation, so that shows you how much commitment she has for Realty One, for me.
To you.
To me. Thank you for that. No, I appreciate it, because when you're going on vacation, right? Tomorrow.
It can be stressful.
Yeah, it can be stressful. By the time this plays, you'll be back, so don't worry.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. So God willing.
I won't even see it.
You won't even see it.
Yeah.
No, I'll tag you. Okay, so now to me, you have 3 lovely kids.
Yes.
1 grown adult.
Yes.
Well, the other 2 are growing too,
yeah.
right? So Priscilla's
17,
already, we're not going to say her age. Maybe she'll get offended, right?
So why are they talking about my age?
Priscilla, I'm shooting some love to you right here. So, and then Diego is the youngest. He's 17. All right. And then Natalia is 19. 19 already? She was just 12 like last week.
I don't have any more babies.
All right. Well, the big baby
So let's not talk about sad things.
Okay. Well, the big baby that I want to talk about is Zuno. Right? Because I love your man. I mean,
I love him too.
Do you know he actually? Well, I don't know if I can say it. Can I say it? He had me like on the hood of the car one time. He was like, "Smart."
He does that to me too.
Okay. Oh. Okay. Well, this is different. Okay, this is different. But anyway, I guess he just wanted to go through the motions of arresting me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was like, he told me it was just a training exercise.
Okay.
But anyway, we might have to edit this out.
He tells me too.
Oh my goodness. Okay, when I said it was going to be PG, it was supposed to be PG. But okay, back to you. Tell the audience about where you were born, where you were raised, what languages you speak, because I know some of this already, but I want the crowd to know.
Let's see. I was born here in California, Palo Alto.
Palo Alto,
Yes.
okay.
Palo Alto,
Nice.
California. Immigrant mom and
Right.
my grandfather.
And they came from
Mexico.
Mexico. What part?
Yes. Michoacan.
Michoacan. Okay, good.
Yes. Viva Michoacan.
Okay, see? Did you guys hear that? Michoacan. Okay.
And let's see. Yeah, I grew up here in California.
Okay, so you're bilingual.
I am. I speak English, Spanish. My
And?
husband will tell you I speak Italian too.
Do you really?
No.
No?
No.
Okay, but you have.
But
you
it's
know
similar.
some. Okay, there is some.
Yeah.
I've heard that if someone who speaks Spanish can get through, and if they're in Italy, they can get
Yeah,
through.
maybe some Portuguese.
Portuguese too. I mean, there's some overlap, right?
Yeah.
There's some overlap. Okay, so you grew up in the home speaking Spanish?
Yes.
I assume. Okay. Tell us a little bit of how long did you stay in Palo Alto? I mean, you were born there, but did you stay there? Or did you end up moving?
No, I grew up in South City.
Okay, South City. All
South
right.
San Francisco.
Right.
And then as a teenager, we moved to San Mateo.
All right.
And I lived in San Mateo up to high school. And then I moved on my own with my daughter Priscilla to Hayward.
Hayward. Okay,
Yeah.
so you've stayed in the Bay Area basically
The whole time.
You know,
The whole time.
and that's for us. I mean, when I was growing up, we went from New York to LA.
Yeah.
And it's just then Fresno.
Yeah.
Shut up. Fresno keeps on coming up, but I was just in Visalia for the grand opening.
Yeah.
I don't know. Did you see that?
You
on,
did. You told
on
you
Facebook?
told me.
I told you about that. Oh yeah,
We
we
were
were texting.
texting,
Yes,
yeah.
we were texting.
Yeah.
So Visalia, we just had a grand opening.
Yeah.
Great situation.
It
So
looked great. I
you know,
loved it.
I really loved it. I mean, Sonny and his team, Vanessa and everyone did a great job in the office. But the whole point is that it's so. I mean, a lot of the agents that I've met at our branch,
Yeah.
they haven't really left their pod, And I guess the Bay Area has enough flavor.
It has enough flavor, diversity. I mean, a little bit of everything. No matter where you go, whether you go to San Francisco, whether you come a little bit to the east side, and then if you go even to the Central Valley,
Right.
you get a little bit of everything. And then maybe if you go a little bit south, it's a little bit different.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah, you can feel the flavor, right? The tone.
It's completely different.
Yeah.
So I love it because
Right.
we can get around to different areas, different moods,
Sure.
a little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything.
I love it. Yeah.
So you never moved out of state.
No.
Okay, but one thing that I don't know how you do it, but you're successful on the real estate business side, but you seem to be on vacation almost, if not, as much as Abdul Manzo. Right? You two, I don't know how you guys do it because you guys got the kids, you're doing the, you have the husband, you have, I mean, husbands are easy.
My
these days.
husband he stresses out every time I tell him we're going on vacation. He stresses out.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Because
okay, yeah. But he stresses out. But
you guys go on vacation. I basically feel like I'm on vacation or vacaciones.
Yeah.
Right? Did I say that right?
Yeah, you did
Vacaciones?
vacaciones,
Yeah. So I feel like shout out to my Spanish teacher, number one, number two. I feel like okay, I do want to go, but I go through. When you post on Facebook, I'm like, okay, I'm with you guys basically, right?
Yeah.
And that
so
that
we
way.
need to bring you next time.
Yeah, bring me.
Yeah.
Tell Sono I need to go.
We are.
But
okay, so start planning for April.
For April, oh my
Okay.
goodness, I don't even think I
You
can
see
do that.
that
See?
sound? Oh my God, what?
See, you're
We're
stressing
going
me
on
out.
vacation?
We gotta be working. How do you balance that? How do you go on vacation? Go take your kids. Go and your husband, of course. You guys have such great fun. All the wonderful pictures, all of that. But how do you balance that with your business?
I always say magic happens when I'm on vacation. I always work on vacation. It doesn't look like it,
Okay.
but I'm usually working in the background.
Okay, so I know that, but how do you make that happen? How do you balance that?
Mornings and evenings. So
Are set for
work.
work. Okay.
Yes, and I'll usually tell my clients, do not think I'm going to abandon you because I'm not going to abandon you.
Right.
You just have to be a little bit patient with me in the middle of the day. But I will always reply to your calls, your texts, your emails in the morning.
Right.
And then again in the evening.
Okay.
Before I head out to dinner or once we come back from dinner.
Right.
But I am always going to be in communication with you. I'm not going to reply
instantly. Okay.
But.
But you set the expectation.
I set the expectation.
Okay.
I'm not going to abandon you. Give me mornings and give me evenings.
So they're going to hear from you, and you have 2 intervals for that. But at the same time, you had the family in the middle, and then they know the family knows.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? Mom or wifey are gonna be busy in the morning.
Yeah.
And in the evening,
Yeah,
correct? Okay.
correct, yeah.
All right. So that being said, that's a
And
great.
my husband is extremely patient with me.
Oh, that's nice.
I'll tell him, you know what? We're just gonna order room service
Right.
because I have to write up a contract. Because I just got a phone call from a client that they're interested in this house.
Sure.
I said, I need 1 hour. He's like,
Isn't
"Okay."
isn't that Murphy's Law though? But I mean it's
That's
a good
what
Murphy's
I
Law.
said.
But it's a
It's
good Murphy's Law.
magic.
It is magic.
It's
I should say.
magic.
I should stick with your term, magic, not Murphy's Law, because Murphy's Law is pessimistic. If anything,
I
can go
look
wrong, it will
forward
go
to
wrong.
vacations.
Okay.
Because like I said, that's when magic
Happens. Okay, so
Yeah.
guys, I will tell you up front right now, she's telling the truth because when she's on vacation, all of a sudden she's in contract, and I don't know how it happened. Maybe you guys got to try it for yourselves,
Yeah.
but I should do this too.
Yeah.
But I find that maybe that's a phenomenon that is real.
Yeah.
But for you, it seems to work every time.
Yeah.
But I love, this whole thing of sitting down with agents is really, selfishly for me, I'm learning, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I want to share with these guys so they can learn and earn. That's what I really call it,
Yeah.
is learning and earning. And my thing is that this aspect, I'm glad I asked you that question because the aspect of how do you balance it all, you just laid out the blueprint for
Yeah.
that. Mornings, evenings. Do you see what I'm saying?
I wake up probably before everybody else.
Sure.
And I start, depending on our time difference of where we're at, I start working when it's California time,
Got it.
right? So
Yes.
if I'm ahead of time, then I get up and I'm working California time.
Okay.
And, I manage that way.
No,
And
that's-
also my kids are older.
Sure.
So-
But you were going on vacation when they were younger too.
Yes.
Right.
So it's
So
like
now
go
there's-
kids club, go beach time, go,
So now, okay, but I noticed that, you've always made family a priority,
it is.
right?
Yeah.
And it's still a priority, but
Yeah.
and the kids, to their credit,
Mhm.
some kids, even my own, they were like, they just get engrossed with friends,
Yeah,
right? They
yeah.
get, that's the thing. They're like, hey, parents aren't that cool right now, but
Yeah.
I noticed as they get older, then they end up circling back to the
It
nest.
comes back.
Yeah,
to
it comes.
circle. Mhm.
So anyone who's got teenagers or young kids, I know a few of you that do, and that they just don't want to be with mom and dad or whoever. Or they're just like, nah, you know, and it's all about friends. Don't worry, they'll come around. It just takes a little time, but usually
It comes around, but don't give up.
don't give up.
Yeah, don't give
Don't
up.
give up, yeah.
You know, you still, you know, I have a 17-year-old right now,
Right.
and I have the 19-year-old,
Sure.
and they love to go with their friends. And I understand. I was a teenager too.
Sure.
So I just tell them, listen, Sundays, I give them a heads up. Hey, Sunday, we're gonna go do this.
Right. Oh, so they do give a
yeah.
little too?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Not Diego. Her son, by the way, he's had the best hairdo. Does he still have the
I have
curly
to constantly go like this.
Oh,
so
to
you
see his eyes?
eyes.
To see his eyes. He's got that. But Diego, I mean, he's a great kid. So
Yeah.
I mean, Natalia is fantastic
I
in
have
her
great
own right.
kids, yeah.
Priscilla is great in her own way.
Yeah.
She's been successful since, you know, in her career,
Yeah.
and you guys are more like sisters than anything else to me.
Yeah.
You know, but I think that friendship with, so when you now say, hey, Sunday is our
Yeah.
day, and you
Yeah.
get pushback, what do you want to share with
I don't get a lot of pushback.
Okay.
Because I think we've learned to balance it. Hey,
Got
I'm
it.
gonna let you do your thing.
Right.
You know, Friday you can do your thing.
Sure.
Saturday you can do your thing.
But Sunday is for
Sunday we're
the
gonna-
family,
yeah.
for the familia.
Yeah.
See, okay.
Exactly. And they've kind of come around to it. Like, okay.
Okay, so the expectation is set,
Yeah.
and you know, as a mother and as the family unit, you guys need to have that time together.
Yes,
Okay,
it is. It's
good.
very important.
So
Very important to me.
well, the good thing is though, so that's the balanced approach that you take.
Yeah.
Because I notice you balance work, you balance the family, you balance the kids, you balance your life from that perspective, and your clients benefit because you are very, you know, balanced on a whole scheme of things, right?
Mhm.
Because when there's an imbalance, you don't have your mind right.
Yeah, no.
And then if you don't have your mind right, you don't have your business right.
Yeah.
So, okay, so now let's dive further in. Okay, so why real estate? What do you love? What do you hate about it? I want these guys to know. Is there anything that you hate about real estate?
Is there anything that I hate about real estate?
I mean, hate is a strong word. I get it. I'll probably get some comments on here. But at the same time, is there anything you don't like about this industry that you're facing? Because you've been doing this
Can
for a long
I say
time.
I hate bad agents.
You hate bad agents. She can say that. You can say that. You hate bad agents.
I hate bad agents.
Right, I mean.
And I think that is what drove me to this career.
Right.
You
It's
know?
because a bad experience?
Yes.
Okay, talk about that.
Let's see. We were onto our second house,
Mhm.
and we had put a large down payment from the sale of our first house.
Mhm.
We bought our second
Second house,
house,
okay.
and
But selling the first house or buying, like replacing it?
replacing it.
Okay,
So we bought our second
got
house.
it, got it.
And it was all great house. I loved it. I think it's still my kid's favorite house. And then the market, that's when the whole
The recession hit.
the recession
Okay.
hit, right?
The Great Recession.
Mhm.
Yeah, painful.
And everybody, you know, your neighbors start talking.
Right.
Sal's coworkers were talking. Oh, dude, what are you gonna do? Da 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 da.
Sure.
And you know, my house. All you could hear is my house is underwater. My house is underwater. My house is underwater.
Right.
And foreclosure.
Right, scary.
And you know, Sal was like, "Well, what should we do?" And you know, I think it's common that, and it's human nature. You listen to what your peers are doing. You listen to what your neighbors are doing and what they're saying. And I learned that real estate is an individual thing.
Mm.
Okay. And unfortunately, you know, at that time, agents were going door to door, and he's like, you know, your house is underwater, blah blah blah, and
Right.
you know, you bought this house at this price, and now you know it's worth, you know, $300,000 less.
Sure.
You should really short sell your house, da 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 da. And I'm like, I don't know,
Right.
you know, is this true? And come to, you know, but we were young and we didn't know much about real estate. And to me, people need to be educated in real estate,
of course.
you know, and to be guided.
Right.
And there was nobody to guide us, and instead this guy was like, you need to sell your house. You should sell your house because it's no longer worth what you bought it for.
But were you guys able to?
We
make
had
the payments?
equity.
You had equity, but were you able to make the payments?
Yes.
Okay, so
But he
you're
was
giving
telling
bad
me-
guidance.
Yes, we were giving, and so that's what I learned, and I was, And once I got into real estate,
Right.
I was furious. I was furious because I was like, now that I know, I'm like, we had equity in that house. We
So
we
you
had
guys-
no problem. Our interest rate was fixed.
So you sold it.
We sold it.
Oh man. Okay.
A short sale.
Yeah.
And I told myself, you know what, I'm not going to let this happen
Right.
again. And I got into real estate and I
Sure.
learned. And I wanted to get into real estate way before that. And unfortunately, the broker I spoke with,
Right.
you know, he told me all about the bad things of real estate, but he never touched about the great things of real estate.
Okay.
So I didn't at that moment. And then after that happened,
Mhm.
that's when I started working more into getting my license. And I told myself, you know, what the problem is that a lot of people aren't educated in real estate. They aren't guided. They're given bad guidance. And I tell people, I'm not a salesperson. I hate sales. I'm an advisor. So I can advise you, I will guide you. You don't know anything, let me help you. This will work out for you, this will not work out for you. And that's what I love about real estate, is that people tell me, you know what, Lily, thank you so much for helping. I was like, no, you did it. I just guided you, but you did it all
So
on
you're
your
the-
own.
you're the
You
shepherd.
followed my advice,
Right.
you know, and you did it. And, you know, to me, that's what's important, is educating,
Right.
you know, people, first-time home buyers, you know, and that to me is my drive.
Okay. So you're the shepherd. You're going about it the right way. But guys, so you see that she had a bad experience. She could have just been like, forget real estate. I don't want to be involved. And you went through the process of short selling your home. I appreciate you telling me that, because that's the part where a lot of people, when they have a bad experience, they don't want to do anything with that industry or with that profession.
Oh, yeah.
So so something great came out of it, because you went through that,
Yeah,
which was painful.
yeah,
And once you weren't ignorant on that, and you knew really from a real estate lens perspective, you were like, this was the worst advice ever.
yes.
And what was the motivation for that agent to do what he did? Was primarily, I'm thinking, money motivation.
Yes.
Right. So that's the part. There's some bad characters, bad actors, what I say, in real estate.
Yeah.
I've come across them too. I had one horrible broker, unfortunately. I had to, it was painful, but that made me start my own,
Yeah.
you know, and that was the thing. And I shouldn't say his name. I'm not going to say his name, by the way. You don't deserve it. But the thing is, you know, I'm just glad that you came out of that with a different perspective and want to serve your clientele. And guys, please note, that's a great takeaway, Lily. You're not looking at it as a sales position.
No.
You are an advisor. You're a shepherd. You are helping that. So
Yeah.
okay, that makes me feel better as your broker.
Thank you.
I mean, I got that from you already, but
Yeah.
just to hear you say it, honestly, it makes me, it warms me up. So
Yeah.
thank you for that too, because that's who you are.
Yeah.
And you got great personality, you got great charisma, you got great presence.
Oh, thank you.
You know that. I mean, we love Lily. She's one of our favorite agents of all
You
time.
don't have to say that.
I'm on camera here. I have to say it. You know, your man will come after me, but honestly, you are. And-
Don't ask me for money after this.
No? No. Okay, fine. Okay, fine. I won't ask her for any money. All right. So now we talked about the family. We talked about business. What is it that keeps you grounded? What do you turn to? Do you have a spiritual thing? Do you have mentors? Who keeps you, or how do you keep grounded? Because there's some tough days in this industry, and it's gonna get potentially tougher these next 2 years.
Yeah.
What is Lily Zuno's plan to how do you do that, and how have you been doing? You've been through hard times before,
Yeah.
right? We all have, personal life, professional life.
Oh, yeah.
So no one's been immune to that. I have not met one person yet that's
Yeah.
been immune.
No.
But what is it? What can you share with the audience here that helps you stay grounded?
Sleep.
Sleep.
Wine. and spending time with my family.
Do we have God in here too, man? Come on. Shout out to God.
Definitely,
okay.
Definitely. He's like the first person.
Okay, right.
You know, like thank you. I thank you for this. Thank you for that. God, thank you. Thank you.
So I want to.
Yeah.
God, I know you're watching, so I was just want to make sure we keep her on the right track. But that is.
It's, without God,
right. Nothing's possible. Nothing's possible. So I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
And any of us, our audience that are non-believers, hey, I mean, respect her and respect, what her views are, just as we respect your guys' view,
yeah.
right? So, all right. So now you have that piece, and you said sleep. Do you know sleep deprivation is one of the main reasons why people die?
Yes, it's what I tell my husband. Is what I tell people. Like, you need to sleep. I literally tell people when they're stressing out, I'm like, you need to sleep.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. So, how many hours of sleep do you get?
I try to get about 8.
8?
Yeah.
Okay. I need to maybe do that because
Yeah,
I haven't been. I don't sleep enough. For some reason I'm more energetic right now. I don't know what happened. Maybe
that happens. You're delusional.
I'm delusional, but I'm like going to sleep at 1. I mean, my son texts me a lot, so we text each other like till 1, and then then I got to get up. But sometimes my eyes will wake up at 6:45, 7. But at the same time, I was just like, okay, 6 hours is not good. So 8 hours is what your recommendation is. And then the wine I don't partake in, but you okay?
I don't. It's an occasional.
Occasional.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're not like
I don't drink alone.
You don't drink alone. Okay, that is good, guys. If you're drinking alone, you might want to take a look at that as a potential issue. So you don't.
No,
drink
it's usually my husband will come home and he'll see I'm having a rough day. He's like, do you want a glass of wine? I'm like, okay. Or, we'll go, he'll take me out on the lake and,
Guess what?
Being out on the water is so nice.
So nice.
Yeah.
Okay. So, all right. So you're enjoying that. Okay. For me, I need some like dulce galletas. If you guys don't know what that is, that's me speaking Spanish. That's candy and cookies. I love some of that stuff. Donuts. I mean, donuts. Yeah, Madeline. She got me hooked up on donuts, but at the same time, you can't be. I mean, you can't indulge too much, right? And that's the thing. So, okay. So as we
balance, remember
it's balance. Yes, balance. So now, what are you thinking? How the market is headed? What are you preparing on your own to handle this shifting market?
It helps to prepare your clients also, right? Sometimes I have clients that we set up goals. And let's say there was a client that reached out to me last year and he wanted to get into the market last year, and we kind of had to put things on pause. And then because maybe we're working on credit, maybe we're working on saving a little bit more money. And so I look back at my clients like, I think this is your time. And so I'm like, hey, I saw this house, and you know what? I think this is your time. Let's go check them out.
Really?
Let's see how things look for you now. Like, okay. And it's, like I said, it's about preparing your clients and looking out for them in their best interest. And yes, the market has changed, but I don't see it in a negative thing. I see it in a positive thing, because my clients, my buyers who weren't able to buy in the last 2 years because it was such a highly competitive market, it's like, this is your time. Yes, the interest rate may be a little bit higher, but now you're not paying so much more over asking price.
Okay. So there is some adjustment on price, although the rate is higher.
Yeah.
Our hope is that the Fed will at some point reverse course just a little bit,
because chill out.
Yeah, they tighten it up.
They need to chill out.
As of this recording, when this airs, but by that time, I think there's going to be another increase, right? And I get it. COVID dollars were being printed. I've watched a lot of videos, a lot of attended seminars. I was in Austin for Realty One Group base camp, where owners and managers came and Cuba and the team brought in industry analysts that are extremely really smart, well respected, and they covered a lot of slides with us, right? And they analyzed the market conditions, and this is not an 08 market.
It's
where it's not, but there's going to be some similar pain.
Yeah.
Potentially, but as they keep on increasing the rate, it's just like that impacts a lot of people because affordability, goes down. But then at the end of the day, something's got to give, and the market will do what the market does, and that it adjusts.
Yes.
And I used to tell our agents too that, hey, it's a seller's market right now. It was foreseeable. Now it's a buyer's market, but at the time, right?
Yeah.
When everything was growing crazy, I sounded like I was probably on crack.
Yeah.
Because at one point I was like, hey, it will be a buyer's market.
Yeah.
And some of the agents were just like, okay, this guy, But I was like, listen, I've been here a little bit, so I know that things will change.
Yes.
And eventually it will be a seller's market again. So I like your approach of that, hey, let the market do its correction.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want the government to keep on intervening on rates as much, but I get it, inflation and things like that. But hopefully, as they see that inflation is under control, then things will be adjusted, and they'll be loosened up a little bit. Because right now it's tightened so much that it's scaring a lot of people. So
it's scaring a lot of people.
Right.
But like I tell some of my buyers, listen, you were waiting for the right time. I think this is the right time.
Got it.
Okay. You're paying rent.
Mhm.
I don't want you to continue paying rent. And people who are kind of like on the fence, and they're like, oh, but the interest rate. I'm like, you're paying somebody else's mortgage right now.
That's the way you look at it, right?
You're paying somebody else's.
You're paying a mortgage. It's just not your own.
It's just not your own. So we could still do it,
Okay.
So let's not get scared. Let's look at the positive side. And the positive side is, hey, we can get you into a house right now.
Right.
Right? And maybe it might not be ideal for the first year.
Sure.
But that's the nice thing is that you can change things. You can change your loan and things of that sort. So I tell them, don't get scared because fear is what's going to hold you. Fear always holds you back.
Right.
In
anything.
In anything and everything. So I was don't let fear hold you back.
But again, guys, just for the record, when you're advising them, we're looking at the financials. You're not over leveraging a client, right?
Everything.
Okay. Because sometimes it's an agent has to be basically told that, look, you know what? And there's some great guys, that I've seen, guys and gals on especially with social media across the nation that are talking about affordability and eligibility.
Yeah. It's all about eligibility first.
Yes. So, but at the same time, right? Even though you're eligible to take, let's say, $1 million loan.
Yeah.
Do you take that even though you're eligible, but you can't really afford it necessarily, right? And that's the thing. That's the part of financial literacy or illiteracy that sometimes it's not viewed, and I think we need agents like yourself to educate the base of your clients.
Because you need to. I always tell my clients, you may qualify for $1 million,
right?
But are you going to be comfortable with that?
Sure.
What is your lifestyle like?
Right.
Do you like to go on vacations? Do you need to pay for college for kids? What is your lifestyle like? And you have to see if that's going to be okay.
Sure.
Because there's no point in having this, loan for this much, and then this house if it's not going to be comfortable. Yeah. So you need to look at your lifestyle. You need to look at things and say, hey, does this fit? If not, let's push it. Let's push it back.
Right.
Let's push it down.
Okay, so let's shift gears for a second. When you have a ugly, hard transaction, because we've been there, right?
Yes.
You've been there. I've been there with you.
Yes.
When you have that, share 3 things that you do to get through that.
I call you.
You call me. You call me. She calls me, guys.
I call you.
And I mean, we always work. But the thing is, you're coachable. Okay. I will say that 100% because I've had agents in the past, no one right now, that they'll ask me for advice. I give it to them because I've been in these scenarios, right? I'm the fire captain.
And then they do the opposite.
And then they do the opposite, or they just like, and then I'm like, then they come back.
Yeah.
And they go, well, now this has happened. I go, hold up. I give you advice on to do this.
Yeah.
That was chapter 1. How we get to chapter 6 where it's now And sometimes I see it where you got to let things play out a little bit.
Yeah.
And I see agents want to rush certain things, right? Even if they're in a bad situation, you have to give the other side a little bit time to digest.
Yeah.
Right? Even if you are the bearer of bad news, give the other side some time to digest, or vice versa, right?
Yeah.
Because even a repair request, right?
Or sometimes you need to.
Yeah, you need to process it.
You need to process it, and you're like, okay.
But I was.
How am I going to say this? How
Sure.
am I going to process
Exactly.
that?
But I'll tell you an example. So there's some repair requests,
Yes.
right? Well, they didn't respond. I don't know, when did you send it? Like half an hour ago. I was like, that isn't time enough. You have to give them time.
At least 24 hours.
But do you know what it is? It's that they can't sit still themselves because that unknowing that just it hasn't been revealed to them.
Yeah.
What I mean, it could be an addendum, it could be this, that. So you have to give the other side some time. So when your situation is tough, right? When you're going through a hard transaction, what is it that that's one thing is that you call me. What are the two other things?
I take the time to process things in my head.
That I think you do that first before you call me.
Well, no, I usually call you first, and then I process what you and I talked about.
Right. What we brainstorm on.
Yeah, and then I'm like, okay, so he told me to do this. Okay, now let's see, how am I going to do it my way with what he told me how to?
Sure.
You told me how to do it.
Right.
Now I need to add my
your flavor to it.
My flavor to it. Okay, and it also depends on your client.
Mm-hmm.
So I usually let things sit, and I process it, and I usually go, okay, it could go this way. Okay, so if it goes this way, how am I going to handle it? And I'll go, okay, and what if it goes this way? Sure. And how am I going to handle that? Right. So that's how I process things, and then.
I mean, that's the great point to you guys is that look, sometimes there's probabilities, right?
Yeah.
And Lily, I mean, excellent. You what you're sharing right now, guys. When I meet with an agent, we don't have anything scripted. We don't. I just tell them, look, it's already within them. Content is within them. What you're saying to me is that, look, hey, this is a scenario. Typically, it's going to be 1, 2, or 3 of the outcomes, right? So you almost can predict it to a certain. There's going to be one off that someone was like, okay, you said 1, 2, or 3, and they're coming out with something totally out of left field.
Yeah, I want to be prepared for whatever outcome there may be. So it's like, okay, what if it goes this way? Right. Okay, what if it goes that way? And what if it goes that way?
Sure.
So in my head, I kind of need to prepare for every kind of outcome.
Or some combination of.
So
that, hopefully, that's a great takeaway. This is all about those kind of things. Lily, any other advice for, an agent that might be struggling?
I always say there's a solution for everything. In real estate, and in a lot of things in life, I always say, you know what? Don't worry. There's always solutions because people tend to panic. I think some agents tend to panic.
Sure.
It's like, don't worry. There's always a solution, and you always have to. You can't be optimistic in this business. You have to be realistic.
Realistic, right.
But also, be pessimistic and.
You have to be pessimistic, or you don't?
No, you can't be pessimistic.
Okay, did you guys hear that? So you can't be optimistic. You can't be pessimistic.
You can't be pessimistic. You have to be optimistic.
Okay.
Always hope for the best.
Okay, we might have to edit that, but
Thank
yes,
you.
but I mean, no. No. We like this. This is a great blooper reel. Kuma wants blooper reels, so that's good. So because I was like, okay, you can't be optimistic. You gotta be.
You gotta be optimistic. Always.
But the thing was, be realistic as well.
But
right?
be realistic.
Okay. So
that's the number one thing, and know that there's solutions.
All right. So now, hopefully, I'm not getting your camera frame here, but there's always a solution.
Yes.
And don't panic. In life, in real estate, at the end of the day, so even if I think back, you had a tough one in Union City or something. I want to say there was one in Union City that rings a bell. For some reason, you were getting pushed, and then there was another one with some siblings. Yeah. So, but we got through those, right? And
the siblings that wouldn't move out.
Yes. So we always have those. There's those kind of things too. Here's the thing: as much as we deal with that, and some people I try to remind myself as well as others that you have to actually look in the rearview mirror.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, there's a lot of things on social media that, oh, don't look in the past. And no, look at the past because you got through those things, right? So count your wins, count those tough years.
And learn from each one of them.
Yes.
That's what I always say. Okay, well, I learned from that one.
Right.
Now that's not going to happen again.
No, we appreciate that. So thank you for sharing all that you do, all that you are. I'm really, I'm definitely, I mean, look at me, I'm getting emotional with you. The thing is that, no, I truly, pull out the tissue. I honestly have true love for you. Thank you. No, I always feel that way. And you've always been positive with me, even though you moved further away than I wanted you to, but at the same time, I get it. A lot of people made that move, but you stayed connected.
Yeah.
You never were like, hey, I'm leaving the office or anything.
No.
I mean, I want to be your broker for life, that's for sure. But you've always been great with your clients. You've been great with all the rest of our agents, and you're just a positive spirit, and I love that about you. So guys, reach out to Lily. She's a valuable resource, and there was such great things that she shared here. And that we didn't even prep this stuff, it's just.
But you guide me too. It's like whenever I call you, I text you, and it's like you always get back to me, and you're always patient with me giving you a backstory, because sometimes my backstories can be a little long.
That's okay. I'd rather have the backstory be longer, because sometimes an agent will call me and they'll give me chapter 1, chapter 3, and chapter 6. But it's a 10-chapter situation. So I'm like, okay,
No, I will give you 10 chapters.
No, you give me the 10 chapters, which is great, because then I can afford, because when an agent goes, hey, they only give me part information, and I start advising them, they go, well, I already did that. I go, okay, so there's some more, so tell me the rest. What else have you done? Right? And you have been great, a great communicator, because you'd rather, and I really appreciate it. When you text me, you always say, it's always positive, it's always with a greeting, hola, something, and I love that, because it's not just, short and sad. And you always say, when you get a chance. When you get a chance. So you give me that room too, because sometimes I am in a, like right now, I'm with you, I'm sure my phone is getting a text from an agent, but you give me the chance to respond, because I'm going to respond to you.
I know you're going to respond to me.
As long as I'm on this ring
people don't, you have a life.
Right.
I'm not the only agent you're dealing with.
No,
I'm not,
great.
you have a life, you have, 100 other things that you're dealing with.
No, but you give me that room. So the way her character, courtesy, all of that. So it's a love fest. What can I say? So thanks again for making the time. I want you to have safe travels overseas, of course, and think of us. We're here if you need any help.
Okay, thank you.
As a backup. You want to put a lockbox on, whatever it is, I got you. Make sure the kids know that we got you too.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
So, all right, guys. So that wraps it up. Lily Zuno, we love you. We appreciate you, and thanks again for everything.
Thank you.
All right. Look at that.